Alright, Greenies, man, it's been a while, but I'm back at it right here. So now, in this video, I really want to deal with this TV series now that just came out now. This Raised by Wolves. I really want to deal with this, man. It's deep stuff. I really want to deal with it. So now, what first interested me based on this, what really first interested me was the fact that obviously it was this Ridley Scott thing. They was talking about how, you know, this Ridley Scott was associated with this, and how really he was part of direction and really the production of this TV series. That's what really intrigued me from just off that. And as you guys know, Ridley Scott, you know, he deals with Alien and the Prometheus and all this different stuff. So really just based on the Ridley Scott aspect, that's what really interested me the most, was this, the Ridley Scott aspect to it, right? So now my first impressions of it now, you know, obviously what I want to do, I want to kind of keep the spoilers to a minimal. And obviously if we do get to a point where there's spoilers, major spoilers coming up, I will let you guys know. But you know what I mean? But obviously up to that point, I'll let you guys know. But I'm going to try and keep the spoilers to a minimal. So now what really interested me, or my first impressions was, obviously at first, the first episode really kind of like, you know, kind of caught me off guard a little bit. Obviously, you know, I was intrigued with the concept, but it kind of caught me off guard. Obviously I felt like, you know, she was kind of, you know, bit OP in such a situation, in certain situations she was kind of OP, and you'll see that when you see the first episode. I felt like she was kind of OP, and that really puts me off in most cases where the main character is excessively OP for no reason, you know what I'm saying? But they kind of explain the reason to why she was OP towards the middle, towards the end. They started to explain why she was so OP, and it made sense, right? So yeah, so that really made sense. So now, going into it now, really so the main plot of the movie, essentially, or the TV series, the main plot, what they're really dealing with, essentially, first is a civilization on Earth, and then the Earth now becomes uninhabitable, and they have to go to a different planet. But let's say what destroyed the Earth essentially was these. So there's two factions, and what destroyed the Earth was essentially these religious people, right? That they said they call themselves Soul, right? And so now these two androids now go to a different planet and try to restart civilization, essentially as atheists, right? But really, that's the really deep conversation that's really being had. This deep conversation is being had as far as religion versus atheism. But really, the conversation being had essentially, has religion held back humanity? And it's really quite a deep conversation. I definitely would highly recommend, just for debate, just for that conversation alone. But it gets so much deeper, guys. I really want to show it to you. So now, where it gets deep now. So again, now we're tapping more into, now spoiler alert again. We're tapping more into a little bit of spoilers now. What happens now? The religious people now, they come. So obviously you got the mother and you got father. They call themselves mother and father, right? Then you get the mother, then you get the father, the black guy. Oh, it goes deep. I really want to break this down to you. So now you got the father now, who's the black guy. So now the father, he's left alone at a settlement. And mother, she's away doing some other stuff. I'm not gonna go into it. I want to keep spoilers to a minimal. She's doing some other stuff, and the father's still there. So now the religious people come to the settlement. They come to the settlement. They invade the settlement, right? So now they're attacking. They're trying to attack, and then father's there, and they're trying to attack. And obviously the father, he's the android, and they're trying to attack. Then eventually, what happens now is the black guy. So basically, there's other children in the camp as well, right? But not children that she made, but other children that she actually, again, later on, you know, in other episodes, you find that she actually took some other children and tries to raise them as a whole, right? So now father now, he's there, and essentially so he's on the rooftop now, and the black guy now, essentially, he betrays him, essentially, and he tells the other guy, well, not really betrays him, because obviously, you know, but we don't give away too much, but again, he kind of like, he's a traitor in some of the words, and he says to him, he's on the rooftop, so now he shoots the android down, and that's how they conquer and took the camp. But that alone is deep, and I want to break down why that is, because again, he's father. He's the father of civilization, but here's where it gets even deeper, right? Because that specific actor who plays that particular character in that movie or in that TV series, he actually played in the video game Assassin's Creed Origins, for those who know about that, Assassin's Creed Origins, where they spoke about where they deal with Egypt and all that, and it was based on Egypt. He plays the main character even in that, and that's where it goes even deep. So even them choosing him, that was quite a strategic move to even choose him, knowing the previous role he had previously had based on this Assassin's Creed. So now he's the father of civilization, right? So now the father of civilization is invaded by these religious people. He's invaded by these religious people. He's essentially conquered by religious people. And what happens is, and the deep part about it, and where it gets deep now, they essentially reprogram him now to be this servant now, this essentially slave, really. That's really what it is. They program him to be this servant, and now he's serving the religious. Oh, it was deep. You need to, just for that alone, you need to check that out. They reprogram him. It was deep, right? But again now, so now what happens is, because when they reprogram, there's kind of a glitch in his system kind of thing, and his finger keeps twitching. All right, again, spoiler alert, his finger keeps twitching, right? And then what they find is that the hunter guy, the guy who betrayed him, he thinks it's kind of like a Morse code kind of thing, so he kind of decodes it, and then he decodes it, the message, and he's like, oh, he dismisses it as whatever. He goes, oh, you're ancient, this and that, this and that. Again, he's saying all these different things, ancient, primitive, all these things, even though we know, it wasn't really primitive, but it's just this old, he's saying this is old nature to it, right? Again, showing how, once again, and him being Assassin's Creed Origins, again, they're giving it to you, right? They're the father of civilization, right? So now they come in, they conquer him now, he's a slave now, essentially. Now he's become a slave now. But then what happens after this? One of the guys, essentially, he decodes basically the finger, and eventually what happens later on, he actually then reprograms him based on this ancient code, this old code, this ancient code. He essentially reprograms him now based on this code, right? And then by reprogramming now, he brings him back to the father of civilization. But that's deep in itself. That's deep because, again, by reprogramming it, essentially what he's doing is saying these ancient codes. So Hunter, right, represents the modern day. He's the modern day. You know what I'm saying? He's a black guy as well, but he's the modern day, right? So now he decodes the ancient code, decrypts the ancient code, and by decrypting the ancient code, he's able to bring the father of civilization back to his glory now, and then they essentially frees him from the essentially captivity of these religious people. It's deep. Just for that alone, that's where it gets deep, right? So now what else are we going to touch on now? So again, so they escape, and then essentially the father of civilization and then the hunter, they escape and try and reunite and reconcile with, or rendezvous with, of the mother, dealing with mother. But see, the mother aspect, really what they're dealing with there, that's really, they're looking for the future of really mankind, really. So they're not, so even though she's the mother, he's the father, what they're really talking about there, what they're really delivering there, is the mother of the father of civilization as far as the ancient aspect, and then the mother now, the future of where they want to go next. So it's deep. There's so many conversations being had. There's so many layers to it. It's deep. We don't want to cover too much, or we don't want to go too deep with the spoilers. We spoke about this already, but there's so many layers to it, guys. There's so many layers to it. Again, the conversation's being had, but there's one Easter egg that I don't want to touch on because again, it's a spoiler, but there's one particular Easter egg. So when they come into the settlement, right, and they try and take the settlement and convert them, right, basically there's a scene where the main child that the android creates, they want to convert him, right? But what happens is there's an Easter egg, and so they do a kind of ceremony to try and induct him into the religion and want to induct him. And there's a little Easter egg for those of you guys know, based on the Easter eggs that they put in these video games, these movies, these little Easter's a little Easter egg. We don't want to give away too much, right? But the Easter egg, the spoiler alert, but again, there's an Easter egg in there. I want you guys to notice that. And again, that really ties into really what that system is all about. Based on the Easter egg, it ties into what the system's all about. Because there's a lot of stuff people talking about that system. They don't really know what that system's all about. But that really lets you know that's really what they're dealing with up there. Based on those, based on that system. I don't want to give away too much. But again, guys, that's it right there, man. Again, it's deep. Just for that alone, just for the history alone, they're putting the history in your face. And I said this already. They put the history in your face, but then you want to look at it, oh, that's some science fiction, that's some science fiction. They're giving you the real history right there. They're pulling it in your face, guys. Again, this is fantastic. Again, great series, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the first episode kind of threw me off a little bit based on the OP, but then they explained why she was so OP. They explained why she was so OP towards, you know, towards the end and so on and so forth. So again, man, that's a quick video right there. Highly recommend you check that out. Raised by Wolves, man, you know what I'm saying? Great series, man. Again, season 2 coming up, man, you know what I'm saying? Deep series. Even the ending, there's some cliffhangers even there. We're not going to tap into that, but even that's even deep right there, dealing with the ending. But again, man, it's a quick video again. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you did some good information from this. All right, people, thanks for watching.